Look, you like pretty websites. So do I. But if you want to make a site look good, you've got to understand how it gets that way. And no, it's not makeup. Let's get into it. CSS, also known as Cascading Style Sheets, is the secret sauce that makes websites actually look good. It's the language behind the colors, fonts, spacing, and layouts you see on a web page. Now sure, there are some killer no-code tools out there that let you drag and drop your way to a gorgeous site. But under the hood, CSS is still doing the heavy lifting to make everything look not buggy. Ever landed on a website that looked straight out of the 90s for a second, then suddenly styled itself into something decent? That's the site momentarily loading before its CSS has kicked in. New devs sometimes get tripped up by the question, what counts as styling? If I added a video to the front page of my site and its visuals are sick, is that styling? What about the page color? Let's break it down. Video, content, font, styling, pictures, content with an asterisk. Borders around those pictures, styling. Okay, let's zoom in on that asterisk. Pictures on a page, are they content or styling? Well, if a picture is used to show information, that's content. But if it's a background image meant to make things look nice, that's styling, which lives in your CSS file. Now, let's say you're a dev working for the NIH, coding a public health website. And you've got an infographic about polio you'd like to add to the homepage. That image, content. Pop it in your HTML file. And while you're at it, add a cute little alt text, thank you. Now let's say that you want a lovely background image of a meadow behind your text. Aesthetic, yes. Vital for the end user to see, not really. That's styling, so toss it in your CSS file. Now, if someone's out in the woods visiting their grandma with only a crumb of Wi-Fi, the infographic about polio still loads. But the meadow background, that might not make it. And that's totally fine. Grandma can still get the important part, the content. Now, maybe you're like me. Can't draw a stick figure to save my life or pick two colors that don't clash. That's where designers come in. They handle the visuals and mock-ups. But when it's time to turn that design into a real working web page, that's the developer's job. And that's where CSS comes in. A good web designer is worth their weight in gold, so put some respect on their names. CSS isn't just about colors and fonts. It controls where elements show up on a page, how much space is between them, whether items on your site are stacked or side by side, animations, hover effects, and more. Any shifts in design between different screens, so desktops, phones, tablets. If you look at the same website on different devices, you'll notice they're slightly different. What is in a name? No, I'm kidding. This is one of those times where knowing the full name of something helps. Cascading Style Sheets. Cascading means styles flow from top to bottom in your CSS files. If two rules target the same element, the one that's lower in the file, or more specific, wins. CSS uses a combination of source order, specificity, and inheritance to figure out what styles to apply. We'll dig into that more in another video, but for now, just know, it's not random. Some developers, and not just juniors, find that tackling styling changes can be intimidating or unpredictable. But if you take a bit of time to review the rules that govern CSS styling, it becomes a lot more predictable and, dare I say, a little fun. So yeah, CSS might not look flashy on its own, but it's the magic behind the curtain that makes websites look clean, readable, and beautiful. And once you learn how it works, you'll never look at a web page the same way again. All right, y'all, everybody belongs in tech, and that includes your grandma in the woods. Okay, bye!
Touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now. All now, top corner talking home run. Touchdown, buzzer.
But if you want to make a site look good, you've got to understand how it gets that way. And no, it's not makeup. Let's get into it.